Okay, well, this is part 3, I guess. I ran out of space again. I looked and I had 10 minutes, and I guess I ran through all of that. I have a lot, I guess, to talk about with that particular issue. Um, Whenever I start talking about politics, I lose interest as soon as people start talking about politics. But the minute I start talking about planetary issues or what's going on in the world, the big things, it hits home and it feels important in my heart. So sometimes people I've had discussions with, and they say, oh, you're not aware of what's going on, or you're not awake, and you just don't see what's happening, and it's more along the lines of, uh, kind of complaining about a bee sting. You already got it, deal with it, let's cure it, mend it, protect it, stop the itch, because we're all destroying this planet together. I've always taken an interesting look at people who constantly complain about modern technology, complain about how people need to get out and do this and that, and how everything's wrong with the world, and they brag about getting rid of their cell phones and everything, but they're on the internet like 24 hours a day playing on the computer, because they're pointing the people who point the fingers at others for what they're doing in particular. It gets really old to hear people finding flaws in other people's way of life merely for the sake of finding a flaw in their way of life. There's a huge difference between calling somebody out on something that is harming society, those are the things I can't hold my tongue back. I can't resist. If I see somebody hurting somebody else or trying to be harsh to someone else, I do tend to speak up. Not out of spite or to prove anything, but because nobody else is saying anything. I'm the person who will try to say something, and maybe that's not always in my best interest, but I do. And there are others who seek out conflict rather than just run into it. They seek it out in order to try to prove themselves right. And it goes nowhere. It's not a productive way for us to function as humans. And it's so easy for us to separate ourselves from one another and be like, it's us and them. I heard somebody talking about sports games the other day. They were saying, this is when I learned that I'm a multi-potentialite when I was looking up Jack of all trades, that there's a lot of people out there like me who have multiple interests that just can't focus on one particular thing for too long. And it's kind of a website on how to help people like me to find, to organize myself and make the most of the way I am. And this one guy was saying that he said he always saw how everybody else was having fun watching sports, and he had no interest in it. And he tried to watch it, and no matter how hard he tried, he just could not find any interest in it. And I totally resonate with that. My brother said a few months back, or maybe a year ago, he said that the same thing, that he saw everybody having fun at watching sports, so he started watching sports and he loves it. So he's been trying to get me to watch football for like a year, and I just can't. He said, just try it. I said, I have. I'm not interested in sports, and that's a weird, I'm not interested in competition or sides, and that's always been one of my things. And so I looked that up and found it's very common. And so I tend to be the kind of person who tries to be, let me try to watch my words here. I'm the kind of person who considers myself to be pretty fair and balanced, although I do tend to lean towards one side if somebody's being too harsh towards the other side. For example, if someone is arguing completely against something, then I might argue slightly for it, just to say what are the possibilities, but not out of trying to just be right. And that's the biggest problem that we have as a society, is always trying to be right. Because trying to be right includes trying to be right in doing wrong, such as losing integrity and values to gain $1, to make $1. I have a very strong ethical commitment to people, okay, and to not take advantage of people. That includes poor people and rich people. I know people who would never harm a person of low income, but they maybe work in the they'll take advantage, take a little bit more money, you know, or snag something from a guy they work for, or something that has a lot of money just because they have a lot of money. I don't buy into that. I think each person deserves equal treatment, but I couldn't steal from a person or wrong a person like that, or I feel horribly guilty. And I guess that's just one of my things, you know. I just feel like there should be more of that. I feel like people want to abuse each other. They want to hurt each other out of spite, just to do it. And I don't feel like anything's ever gained from that. I do believe in a constructive argument and good philosophical debate. Some people take that as posturing or defensiveness, but it's not. Argument is part of our progress. But when it extends to scoffing and being rude at one another, or pointing the fingers at the way that others live, you know, it's just, it doesn't bother me when it's about me. It bothers me when it's about others, because others do get offended by that kind of stuff. For me, I'm very comfortable in the way I live, and I'm confident in myself. So, you know, I can sit out and make videos in my ninja headband. I don't care. I don't even know what my hair looks like. I have a certain degree that I care about image, but it doesn't extend into trying to fool people or pretend like I'm something I'm not. I'm just a dude that sits on his porch and makes videos. And so far I've enjoyed doing it. I enjoy exchanging information. So I better end this little video before I run out of space again. Hi, kitty. I guess before I go, nah. Peace out.